Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, drinking water for once. This video is about potential reasons to for supporting Indigenous people from the Americas, all over the Americas, which I know I've been talking about in September, and also I was talking about in July as well, and some of August. But so I was hoping to talk about some of the reasons, obviously the case for supporting Indigenous people. So I hope you enjoyed the video and that as many people from Indigenous communities from the Americas will get to watch this eventually and be empowered and inspired and empowered and that sort of thing. So anyway, hope I cover some good points. And as ever, please let me know in the comment section your least and most favorite points, and which bits you didn't like and which bits you did like. Saving the best to last. So I can't think of much else to say in the intro. So I did want to do this yesterday, but I didn't quite get around to it. So anyway, here goes. So number one. As far as I'm aware, they were there first in the Americas, and they were displaced from their own land. Like a lot of bad things were done to them from the government. Like they were removed from their families. They were taken to boarding schools. I think they have a lot in common, really, with Indigenous people from Australasia. Like they're both minorities in the countries where they originate from. Like they're 2 or 3% in America and probably other parts of the Americas. And in Australia and Australasian countries like New Zealand, I'm sure as well, it's similar. And many are like mixed race because over generations they've been removed from their families. And I know there's a lot of controversial view. I think there's a group that many might call a cult, which I think is African American, but they try and claim that the original people from the Americas were black and stroke or Latino or something like that. But a lot of people say they're quite mad and all that, and it's quite an offensive thing. But I know also, I think I heard someone once say like Europeans were there a long time ago, even way before Columbus, like Ice Age. Not sure, but not Ice Age, but they were there a long time ago from like the Scandinavian countries. But as far as I'm aware, unless I get evidence from the contrary, like they were the first people, and I think evidence shows they were the first people there. So again, they were removed from their country. It's like being second class in the country you originate from. And I think they still suffer from discrimination. But anyway, I don't want to take too long on each individual point because otherwise the video would be too long. But so that's they were original people. Number two, they have been like tortured and gone through. They've been tortured and things like that, tormented and things like that, and they've gone through an effective attempted genocide on their people. So that's why their populations are so depleted. And again, they've been through so many things. I think the European settlers, so to speak, settlers or whatever, colonizers really, but they gave them like blankets which had diseases on them and things like that. And also people like Chris Columbus. I know I support Italian football, and I don't want to offend anyone as well, but to be honest, I think there are better role models for Italian Americans than Chris Columbus, because I think footballers would be better role models, because apparently Chris Columbus, like many Native Americans say he was, or Native people from the Americas, I think, say he was a genocidal maniac, and he like amputated people and butchered people, killed people, and all sorts of things like that. So I know it's very strong language to use, and I do want to keep my videos family friendly, but this is what I've heard from. So again, I'd love to hear what any information you can provide to the contrary. But as far as I'm aware, like Chris Columbus was like a genocidal maniac, and he even tortured people and did some terrible things, as well as many other Italians and Spaniards as well, who he went with to the Americas. Anyway, that sort of thing. So that's another reason why I think it would be fair to support them. Number three, they lost a lot of freedom, liberty, and that sort of thing. So many people talk about supporting freedom, and I think it would be good to make up for some of the history by supporting them, because of the loss of liberty that they've had, where they've basically had their land taken away from them, their culture and their rights to make decisions for themselves, where the government made treaties which they broke and things like that. Number four, I think they could teach us a lot about peace, love, nature. Again, I know there are contrary opinions, to be honest, and I'm trying to give both sides of the story. So I know people say that some Native American tribes in some parts of the Americas apparently did sacrifices, or they fought other indigenous tribes. So I'm not sure if that's true, but indigenous tribes of the Americas, but I'm not sure if that's true. But I'd love to hear any information you can have to the contrary. But as far as I'm aware, like they they could probably teach us a lot about peace and nature. Many of the indigenous communities of the Americas could teach us about peace and tolerance, and I think it would be a good gesture to support them as much as possible financially, and that sort of thing. Number 5, I think it's something to work on, something you can do, that you can have goals to support Indigenous people in the Americas, and I think it would be an interesting project to see if people who want to take on a challenge can see if they can support Indigenous people from the Americas to do well, and it's something, to, as I say, to work towards. Number 6, again, it's a challenge, something to work towards, and something where you can see if you can do the best you can to support a group of people who have been oppressed for so long and like still suffer from apparently Pine Ridge, I have to get the name mixed up, is the poorest part of America. So I think it'd be great for people to see if they could actually change their situation and support people on their reservations there, and make the reservations a lot better. Like, see if we can fundraise to together to make better housing, better medical care, and support them with tax losses, cheaper medical care and funding, and big businesses, and seeing if they can support them. Number 7, I want to be careful when I talk about in my videos about saying like spiritual stuff, because I'm not really that religious. I don't go to church or anything like that. And I wonder what, from a Christian point of view, whether you think it's right to support Indigenous people in the Americas, or you might say we should support everyone, or maybe not. But I think if you look at the Bible, it says don't steal, kill, trespass, murder, or things like that. And I think a lot of those things were done to Indigenous people. So I hope God agrees with me, like supporting the victims. Not that I think they should remain in victimhood. I think in the future they should be an empowered group so they can run their own businesses and things like that. But I think historically they have been victims, so it'd be good to empower them and maybe show a positive side of the Bible, like the Bible says, don't steal, trespass, kill, murder, and that sort of thing. So again, I'd love to hear from religious people whether you agree or not, or whether you think that there are reasons for and against them, for, or whichever one you want to put in, supporting Indigenous people in the Americas. Number 8, I think definitely people of colour, non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and people like that should definitely support Indigenous people, and I think it would be good for people of colour. It would help us to unite against white supremacy, the far right, and all that sort of thing. Number 9, again, it's something you can prioritise your time with, and I definitely myself wish to support Indigenous people from the Americas in July, as much of August as possible, and also September from this year, and especially next year onwards. So yeah, I think it's, as I say, it's something that you can prioritise and work towards and challenge yourself with, and support their writers and artists. And again, it's something to do which you can achieve. And I think we should look at what human rights they should have, and what tax exemptions and general support they should have. And I think it's something that can bring us together, again, especially as people of colour, as well as not just people of colour, but especially people of colour and other marginalised or disadvantaged groups, or often marginalised and disadvantaged groups. And number 10, I think it'd be great to see their youth having a great future, again, possibly from a spiritual point of view, show a positive side of the Bible, perhaps, and also like help them with taking on drug addiction, and like discourage them from smoking, drinking, taking drugs, and that sort of thing. Encourage healthier lifestyles. I know I'm not the most healthy myself, so it's a bit hypocritical of me saying perhaps in a way, but I think it would be a great thing, and also to empower them in STEM and areas like that for the youth. And again, support areas like Pine Ridge, Pinewood Reservation, and other reservations which have a lot of problems. Yeah, so I think that covers everything for part 1. I'd love to know what you think, as ever. If you have to leave hate mail, then that's fair enough, but hopefully you'll leave some loving and peaceful comments, and I'm out. Peace and love.